Now we're going to do the cats. I'm going to start with the cougar. Now the pre-shape on this one is three-sided taper, 1 inch long, half-inch cross-section on the snout. Same pre-shape for the cougar as the lynx. Right now that we've got our three-sided taper, we're going to create the brow. We're going to put about 2/3 of the taper onto the base of the anvil, half face blows. Up on the corners, heavy chamfers. Knock those corners down. Want it flat on the top of the snout. And we've got our brow line, forehead, snout, heavy chamfers. Cat has a bit of a triangular shaped face, more so than the wolf or the bear. With the widest point, of course, being the ears. So I want to get some taper. To help with that triangular shape. Make sure my widest point is the ears and then the forehead. Now a cat's muzzle is bulbous. So I'm using here a 3/8 top and bottom fuller in the guillotine, but whether it's spring fuller or by whatever version. I'm fullering in on the sides and on the chamfers, not on the top and the bottom. Right now I want to round up that muzzle. Once again, I only want to do it on the sides and in this case on the bottom, but not on the top. Now I'm leaving that dimple on the end because a cat actually has a little bit of a dimple right at the base of his nose. Now we're moving to the vise. The rest of the work will all be done here. A little bit of upset on the end of his muzzle. Bring that dome back. And I'm using approximately a 5/16 inch fuller. I'm placing that fuller so that it is right at the brow line, with half the fuller above the bridge of the snout and half below. And I'm going to follow that fuller on out to the end of his nose. Fairly pronounced. The cat's nasal passages actually sit up on top of the muzzle. They stand proud. Whereas a wolf is just slightly proud and a bear is flush. Right now I'm using approximately a 3/16 inch fuller. I'm going to go vertically up the center of his forehead. And I'm going to fan it. I'm going to take a necking tool. I'm just going to come in here and clean up sharp edges, soften them. Right now we're going to do the ears. Mountain lion has nice round ears, good size. They have a good sense of hearing. Using approximately an 1/8 inch fuller. Coming across diagonally. And I'm taking a side set. Push that material back. Even them up. Then I'm going to use that same side set. I'm going to make the end of his nose a little more pronounced. Cat doesn't have the best sense of smell, but his nose is pretty prominent. Right now we're going to finish off the ears using a pointed punch. Place it center right at the base, angled in a little bit. And I'm using my 1/8 inch fuller again. I'm going to flare it and texture it. And I'm using a small curved chisel to do the front of his mouth. And then a straight cut chisel to take that back all the way to his cheek. Right now I'm going to finish his nose using a straight cut. I'm coming in and joining those two at the center of the snout. He's got a split upper lip. Extends about 2/3 of the way up his nose. I'm going to use the same straight hot cut to do his nostrils. I'm going to open up the sockets for his eyes, and I'm using a teardrop shaped bob punch. I want to open that up so it will accept the proper sized eye punch. I've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 different sizes and shapes of eye punches. It's important to have the right proportion for the size head you're doing. Got to have a wide variety of eye punches. Get things balanced up. Right now we're going to put the eyes in. I'm using a diamond shaped eye punch. Place it in the sockets we've made. You don't want that eye punch to be too deep because you want it to fill, but you don't want to have to drive it a long ways to get it to fill. And I'm going to use the fuller and I'm going to push the brow down a little bit. Give him some attitude. Of course, a cat's strongest sense is his sense of sight, so you want nice big eyes. And then the other defining characteristic of a cat is his whiskers, and we can't very well put whiskers on, but we can put little dimples where the whiskers would be. And the cat's whiskers are in straight rows, and they're heavier, thicker towards the end of the snout and finer as they go back. So I like to lighten up on my center punch marks as I move back. Generally, I put 3 rows of 3 with one more right on the front. Lines up with the center row. And then a cougar's a good one to use a bronze brush on.